was 16 months old, and I already have a daughter who's 11. So, thank goodness for already being a parent. So I already had some experience. So my son is 16 months old, and here he is. He has rashes all over his body. I'm already living what I thought was a healthy vegan lifestyle, and I'm doing the best that I think is possible. I'm not eating the healthiest of sugars like fruits and coconut sugars and the most homemade foods. Okay, so my son's 16 months old. He has rashes all over his body, and he's going to the bathroom maybe 8 times a day. And I used to suffer from Crohn's, and I started seeing the same symptoms in my son at a 16-month old. Like, as an adult, I could barely deal with it. Imagine seeing it through your baby's eyes. It was debilitating for him. It was debilitating for me. This was crushing me. All of my knowledge that I knew went out the door. I'm like, I know nothing. When it comes to your kids' health, I would do anything. We would do anything to make our kids feel better. So I go to the doctor. A little history on my part. I was sick for many years, and I healed myself through nutrition. So here I am reliving this same experience through my son. I feel it's a way that God was trying to speak to me to say, you didn't listen the first time, you weren't spreading the message. I'm going to give it to you again. So, it really gets solidified in your life and your life story. So I started going to the hospital and to start going to all the specialists and running all the testing, everything that I experienced. You see this little boy going through all these blood tests. It was heartbreaking for me. The doctors told me that going to the bathroom 8 times a day is normal. They said it's normal. And that, the rashes, that'll go away. It's an atopic dermatitis. Here's this cortisone cream. Just slap that everywhere. The tummy pains, he's a baby. He'll grow out of it. And being an experienced mom, I never experienced this with my daughter. So I'm like, no, this is impossible. This does not make sense. And also, I'm a person of solutions. You can't just tell me this is how it's going to be, or I have to wait it out. No, my son needs to feel better now. You need to give me a solution. And I'm very anti-drugs, and cortisone would be the last thing that I ever would want to use. But if it's something they suggested and I'm all out of reasoning, I did it. I took that cortisone cream. I'm slapping it everywhere, all over his body. And you know what? No result. I went through maybe a year of this. New Year's Eve on us, crying, ringing the ball drop. It was horrible. So then I heard about glyphosate. Someone told me, she's like, have you heard about glyphosate? And I'm like, look, I know about all the new medical research. I'm very up to date. What are you telling me? I never heard about this. I really thought she was making this up. Because how important is organic food? Honestly, I thought organic foods was just a marketing ploy. Just so you buy more, marketing schemes. So I didn't really think it was something of importance. Then she started explaining to me that, glyphosate's in all of our inorganic foods and in the parks and everywhere. So she suggested, why don't you try Biomedic? Okay, I looked up every ingredient on Biomedic and I'm like, I must know everything. Okay, and I saw, humic acid, fulvic, prebiotics. Okay, this is all food. Why not try this when I've been trying cortisone cream, which I'm very against? So I tried it. What do I have to lose? He was a baby. I opened a capsule. Back then, we didn't have Epigenius kids. We had the capsules. So I would open the capsules and sprinkle it all over his tofu scramble. And you know what? It tasted delicious. It tasted like oregano. So he would have that, and guys, 3 days. 3 days, my son, all of his symptoms went away. I say he became human. No more crushing his stomach, always in pain. He could sit. He was human. He was smiling for the first time ever. His bowels were back to normal. They were solid. He was a human. It was the first time this solidified my belief in biomedic, in this toxin called glyphosate, even stronger than I ever thought possible. So now I have this duty to share this with everyone, with every parent, with every mom who's pregnant. If you're pregnant and you're eating and you think you're eating the healthiest possible, whatever you eat, you're giving this microbiome, you're creating the microbiome of your child. So we need to spread this. I keep telling everyone, the way we talk about poison, like, with the eggs and the guy with the skull, it's the same thing as glyphosate. We just need to be aware of it. It's in all of the cereal marketed to our kids. It's in all of the snacks marketed to our kids. The more we teach and we make them aware of it, the better it is for us as a community, because we don't want to see anyone go through this. One child affected is all children affected. So that's my story. And this has been my life's mission, to get the word out there to every parent, every person, of the effects of glyphosate and what it does to ourselves and our family. So if anyone else in the council would like to share, I'll pass it on to you.
I'd love to piggyback off of that, Tas. My story is so similar. I can't, I'm listening and I'm really touched that you're sharing this today. But my name is Carmela Velarde. I'm also new to the Million Mom Movement Council. I'm in Pennsylvania. I've been with the company for 6 years. And when I had first found Purium, I had been suffering from leaky gut since I was about 4 years old. And I'd gone through exactly the same symptoms as Tas's son. I had rashes everywhere. I had been hospitalized 4 times as a child because the inflammation was so great. They had to just pump me with steroids through an IV. And they didn't have any other solutions. They had constantly tried to find, through maybe my gut, through, but like the endoscopies, and they couldn't find anything. They saw that I had maybe a gastritis, but then they had no solution besides an enema. And so basically they never gave any nutritional advice. So when I had found the company Purium, I knew that I had tried so many different types of cleanses, and I was already a mom. I'm a mom of a 9-year-old, a 9-year-old to be 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And, at that time when I had my daughter and I was going through this, I was so committed to not having her experience the same things I did through my childhood. That's what you want as a child. Just please have a better future than what I had experienced through my own health. And I'd done my first cleanse, and 3 years later, I had been introduced to the biomedic. And yes, going organic and plant-based was a big shift, not too big because I was mostly plant-based, but not 100% organic. And that was when things started to change huge for me, because I was so sensitive since 4. So think about, there's different constitutions. I have a background in Chinese medicine and in holistic health counseling, mostly due to my sensitivity to the world around me. And I'm very aware to help others has been my mission, because I've suffered for so long with the usual medical path that was never a solution for me. And so when I was introduced to biomedic and I shared it with my children, it was a huge difference. And them, Purium introducing a solution for leaky gut and the C-reactive protein marker in your microbiome, that to me was so specific. And they had science to back it up. They had somebody like Jeffrey Smith, who was a foremost advocate against GMO, come and speak to us, David Sandoval created The Toxin That Came to Dinner, and it was a full resource for a base for people. Anyone here who doesn't know enough about it and would like to know more, definitely tap into The Toxin That Came to Dinner, and also the solutions that we have through different protocols with Biomedic. We have it in our Core 4, our 10-day cleanse, our 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation, and how to integrate it into a lifestyle is what I have been looking for as a holistic health counselor since 18 years. And when I'm able to share it with people, how it's changed my microbiome, it does immediately waken people up. So I also, along with that, breastfed both of my children for 3 years each, because again, building healthy biomes start with that mother's milk, but then how are we carrying it on? The food that we're currently eating, the soil is depleted. It's not full of the nutrients that we need. And so it's a mission to us, for all of us here on the council and in the community who are sharing Purium, to make sure it's a nutrient-dense lifestyle that is organic and primarily plant-based. So with that, I'm complete, and I definitely feel that more should lead with the Million Mom movement, and that's the education base of activism against the food toxicity in our society. So I'd love to pass the torch, whoever would like to share. Maybe Rebecca Johns.
I think it's my cue. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. My name is Rebecca Johns, and I am a mom who's raised 6 kids. I have 6 from ages 8 to 27, and I've had the privilege of hospicing my parents and have just kind of seen the cycle of life with and without the superfoods that Purium has brought into our lives. And I'll tell you that personally, I do have a story. I love that the moms and kids stories are so powerful this afternoon, because I had an ABO incompatible pregnancy years ago. My son and I did not share the same blood type. It went undetected and undiagnosed full term. So we delivered that way. And my endocrine system was destroyed. My son was in very poor health. We were told he would be in weak brain function for his whole life and not to expect much from his functionality. And I have so much of that story that I want to share, because I was over 400 pounds. I had diabetes, IBS, arthritis and bursitis, skin disorders. So, I mean, I'm hearing a theme, dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression, because as we're talking, the gut microbiome really does dictate so much in the system. So I want to just say briefly that my children use Biomedic and Epigenius. I use it. My children have reversed eczema. But I wanted to talk specifically for my portion about weight loss. I think there are a lot of people who are struggling with losing pounds. And sometimes when that struggle is happening, we make up things in our head, like I can't even look at cheesecake and I'll gain a pound, or, you know, it just runs in my family, or I don't have any willpower, or, you know, that's great for other people, but I don't know that it will work for me. Like, we really can sometimes have a narrative that doesn't empower us and doesn't lead us to solutions. And I'll tell you, I used a lot of different ways to shed weight over the years, as you would imagine. As I'm sure if I took a poll, a lot of us have tried lots of different things. But there are so many of us counting calories and not enough of us understanding the impact of chemicals. And so you can be in a great caloric window. You could be looking at your macrobiotics and your proteins and your fats, and looking at some of those numbers and thinking, you know, I should be better. Or you might be burning the fat and losing weight, but because you're using ways that manipulate the body and don't actually recover the gut, and you're cranking up the metabolism to lose weight, a la like the keto diets or that kind of perspective, there really isn't healing to the system that's going on. And so my addition of the superfoods, and specifically Biomedic, has not just helped accelerate my weight loss of over 100 pounds and support me reversing diabetes, IBS, arthritis and bursitis, all that stuff. It's also helping me heal a part of me and parts of me that you guys have really been compromised probably since I was an infant. You know, my mother happened to be on a prescription when I was born. And so as soon as I was born, I couldn't be breastfed. So I was a 1973 formula baby. God only knows what roofing tile and, you know, cigarette butts are in that. I don't even know what's in that formula of 1973. It can't be good. If it's not good now, you know, there was no regulation on things like that back then. So I have, as long as I can remember, had gut issues. I was 2 and 3 being constipated. And, you know, parents didn't know back then what they know now. And the fallout of things in my health into my tweens, and then my teens, and then as a young woman in my 20s with my menstrual cycles, and so many things that are the fallout of a bad gut from probably age 1, I have the opportunity to heal now. And that's really important for me, because as a holistic practitioner, my mantra is eat well, live well, age well, die well. So I'm not just trying to be healthy right now or repair things from the past. I'm working to establish a baseline of my health moving forward so that as I age, I can age well. And so many people work so hard their whole lives to get what they want, and then they retire and their health is poor. So my investment in my health with these superfoods is reparative. Yes, I have a lot to repair, but it's also very future thinking so that I can lay a new road to health for the future and teach that to my children. And it's turning a big boat. I'm not just in a little rudder boat. I'm shifting a whole Titanic. In my case, a lot of repair, a lot of damage. But I think for anybody, the inclusion of the superfoods, and especially biomedic, will do nothing but give you benefit. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. That was amazing. What a beautiful, beautiful share. I just want to mention that, you know, a lot of people think, why, if this chemical is in all of our food, how could the FDA approve that? How could they approve that? Well, you know, Monsanto, which is what owns all of these farms, Bayer, Nestle, there's so many sister companies that are attached to this that is in all the foods. So we need to be aware, because when my son was sick, when I was sick, the medical system did not exactly follow the money. The medical system did not care. It's up to us to want to change our health and to be aware of what's happening, because just because they're selling it doesn't mean we should be buying it. And the only way to stop this is to do it with our dollars. So if we stop buying these foods, we are trying to do this petition, right? So please put your email address, and one of the council members will send you a form to fill. So we are trying so much. Cheerios, all of the cereals that are marketing, especially to our children, are full of all of these toxins. Goldfish crackers, all of these things, okay? So the more aware we are, and the Toxin That Came to Dinner is the most essential book ever. Okay, these are all medical studies. Why are we so, you know, we are bothered by something that we find that's food that can heal us, like biomedic, when we think of all the medication and the drugs that the doctors prescribe, we take it without problems. We go, oh, do we need grapefruit with this? What do we need to avoid? You see so many side effects, but no one questions that. They just take it. Why is that? We need to share the awareness together, because the more we stand together, the better it will be. You're not alone in this quest. When I started this, I felt alone. So if I had this community rallying with me, I would not feel alone. And then my kids could see other kids live this way, right? Isn't that a community that we would love to have together? And I feel this is what we're doing with the Million Mom Movement. I will share it. Carmela, do you have anything to say?
No, I'd actually love to open it up for others to share. And I'd love to hear voices out in the community who have a story, who have something that's maybe impacted them in their own family, or if they have any questions as well.
Hi, you guys. It's Lucy.
Hey, Lucy.
Can I jump on just quickly?
Yes, please go
When
ahead.
I have a second, I will do my best because I'm with my amazing boy here. So thank you, ladies, for all being here. And I'm so happy to hear all these incredible shares, and that really brings such a warmth to my heart and tears to my eyes. Just see how we can help so many by sharing our stories. Just quickly, our stories, I think pretty profound also. My son, Kaivi, he was born with extra chromosome. And right from the beginning, he's going to be 7 years old. And right from the beginning, the same thing. I didn't really know how to support him with deep nutrition. And again, all the of course medical doctors and they're like, oh, just give him this, just feed him this. And I'm like, no, there must be so much more I can support him with. So I was very blessed that these superfoods came to my life, and I truly wish that all moms and all dads and whoever can use these superfoods to nourish our children. As some of you I can see on the call, I also probably work with children on different spectrums and with different needs. So it's really, really important if you can share that to these communities too, because these children or adults, as we call them, with special needs, need really that nourishment. Sometimes it can be very challenging because as some of you ladies already share, you trust the doctors. So the doctors tell you, oh, use this, use that. But as Tas is, as in her heart, she also knew there's so much more I can do for my child. So by own research, I didn't know about glyphosate myself. I never heard about them because I grew up in the country on natural medicine and just food from the land until I came to the US and I started learning about the glyphosates. And as most of you shared with the biomedic, we use it on daily basis. I open the capsule, I sprinkle, no spray, don't spray, spray the biomedic on his food right here. That's my boy. He's the superfood boy. He loves the power shakes. He likes the rice bran soluble, and he's very active. I never thought that he will also walk, and I truly believe that the superfoods, and he loves the chlorella also to remove all the toxin. I don't know if anybody also mentioned the chlorella, which I believe that's very important for the toxins too. And I also feed the superfoods to our dogs. They don't eat anything else. So remember, the dogs and the animals are affected too by the glyphosate. So please share. Maybe next time I share a little bit more when I'm just by myself. So I love you all, ladies. Keep sharing. Let's reach the billion movement. And enjoy, and keep shining. And lots of love and biomedic. That's the deal right now. So love you all, ladies. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucy, for sharing. What incredible shares this morning from all of you. Thank you, Tas, Carmela, Rebecca, Lucy, for sharing such wonderful stories about how this movement has impacted your life and your children's life. And so that's what we're here for. So if you're inspired by this call today, we want to invite you back next Friday because we come here every Friday. And I was just realizing that we're at the top of our half hour. So please leave your emails in the comments so that you can become part of our email campaign. I did leave the address to General Mills in the comments, so you can copy and paste that to your notes. But I just want to say, you know, you are a part of the Million Mom Movement. We are the Million Mom Movement, and that's a hashtag that we've been using lately. So please use the hashtag Million Mom Movement, and we are the Million Mom Movement. Please make sure that you are following our social media pages so that you're up to date with what it is that we're doing and what we're sharing, because we want to invite you back here next Friday. And actually next Wednesday, we have a Wednesday gathering with families and children are invited too. So please follow our pages and tag the Million Mom Movement so that I can share you on our pages and in our stories as well. And just appreciate each and every one of you coming here. And our mission with the Million Mom Movement is that we are 1,000 families in 100 different communities, each helping at least 10 families get off of GMO and processed food, learn what organic is, and switch to a greener, cleaner diet. So thank you all for joining us today. I look forward to seeing you all next week. And aloha for now. Make it a beautiful day.
Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you all.